time. And there we go, jumping into it right now, as we are gonna be working with some placeholders, most likely. I'm assuming that's gonna happen either way. Bobo Jack, what are you drinking? Juice.
Some caster juice.
It's juice. It's
It's amazing.
it's
And
juice.
good that LeBlanc reminds everyone because you gotta stay hydrated during these games. So have a sip.
Boom.
And as we go in here, we see the Anivia Yone ban. Not immediately something we saw this KVM Academy squad pop off with last week. I would have expected a Hecarim ban on Oli because that dude galloped all over the place with that pick last time. So they do not ban it right away, but they do take away the Irelia, which is odd because Goodbye is a big Irelia fan himself. So don't go for that, but they do pick up the Kai'Sa on the side of KVM, which is great because Drago loves it and Yoop loves it. So it's a win-win for them. So great first flex. And also, I think she is at the moment seen as the strongest AD carry in the meta.
Yeah, Kai'Sa is definitely, if not the strongest, at least one of the stronger ADCs to be picked up at this moment, as they are going to be picking up Gragas. We've seen a lot of Gragas top lanes in the bigger ERLs, LCS, LEC, LCK, LPL, all those kind of stuffs. This will probably be the first time to see a Gragas top in the Open Tour for us, at least. We hadn't seen it last week. And then, of course, we see the Lulu pickup. Now, Lulu is something that Infuneral likes to play. Has been playing quite some games over the last few days and weeks, and it's something that gets played a lot, but it's also a flex pick. So you can play it top, you can play it mid, and you can play it on the support role. It will probably be a Moonstone Lulu, and it's something that gets played quite a lot in all these positions. So an interesting pickup here from the guys on Ion Squad, and then we see the Hecarim you talked about.
Oli definitely going for that again. And as you said, the Lulu, it's a flex pick, but in Funeral, he has such a huge champion pool that he could have gone for anything. Usually you see the support players like with KVM, they go for the tank engage champs. And in Funeral, he is one of those guys that still has all the options open. He plays Seraphine, Alistar, Bard, Leona, Lulu. He plays it all, so they can put him in a different role. And you can see Goodbye this time around, going for that Gragas, who of course is going to go very tanky. We'll likely not see an AP Gragas top, who will be taking on that role as the tank engage for their squad. So then you can of course have Tidus as Graves, who will go for that carry jungle style. So it's nice for them to switch up, and of course Lulu boosting up one of those champions who will get ahead at some point if they manage that. So that is at the moment their plan.
Right, and KVM taking away Fiora from Goodbye, of course one of his go-to champions. Fiora, Irelia, Camille, they banned themselves. Now, in my opinion, maybe a bit of a strange ban. Of course, Gragas can be a flex pick to the jungle, or even, I guess, mid lane support, possibly even there. However, we do see a Lulu, we see a Graves and a Gragas, so I think you can, with a certain amount of certainty, put Gragas in the top lane. Then the Fiora ban is a bit of a strange one, as Ashe also gets picked off. We see KVM going for Kai'Sa, Hecarim, Alistar. They need a top laner and a mid laner right now. At this point, heavy engage. What are we expecting here from the top and the mid lane? Maybe a Wukong for Mortar again like last week?
And the Wukong is still open, but also the Shen. He had some great games on Shen last time round after they lost the first game against Tribute, who used so much global pressure on them. Maybe they want to go for that same style again. They do look in the Syndra for Jerry. So they do have that control, that burst. So they can go two ways here. They can go for a split, or they can go for more team fight, because they do have engage, they do have damage, so their comp is already pretty rounded with those 4 picks. Now it's their call how they want to supplement it, and it seems that they are going to hover this Shen again, and they're going to lock it in. So they are going for the combination of the two, because Shen, of course, is such a great champion who can manipulate every situation, go for the split, go for the team fight, go for the protection. And they're gonna do that here, so now is the last call. What are they going to pick here? Hovering Rel, which would mean Lulu is not a support, but it would be
Mid lane.
crazy if they do this. It's a Lulu mid.
Yep. We saw it, I think we saw Ryazaki play it last week as well. Not 100% sure there. He played Lulu mid. Of course, Lulu Moonstone Renewer on mid lane gonna help the Senna and the Graves to pop off, to keep them alive, to give them that extra bit of healing. And of course, Lulu bring a lot of utility to the team with a knockup, with a shield, with her ultimate, which I believe cannot be anti-healed. So a great pickup there, and against Syndra, she can survive the ult with her ult, so not terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely Syndra. She basically has her burst, and when that's gone, yeah, the great value of that pick is gone. And Ryazaki also a player who doesn't mind playing supports mid, because one of his most played champions is Karma. He spams that pick on the mid lane, and Lulu, yeah, she does a little bit of the same, but more on that protective side. Of course, also so much utility for the team, because you have all those abilities that you can use in two ways, which means that you always have to take into account, okay, she can speed up, or she can polymorph, she can shield, or she can damage, and then use that damage to land the Q even farther away. So there are a lot of variables that you need to take into account. And of course, they do have their two carries, the Graves and the Senna. However, they are both AD, and you are playing against a very tanky lineup from this KVM Academy squad. They have the Shen, Hecarim, and the Alistar. You're not going to be able to burst them that hard. Okay, you will have some AP from the tank Gragas and from the Lulu to a certain extent, of course, because as you said, she is probably going for this Moonstone build, where you lack the AP damage that you could do with the Glitter Lens, potentially, because of course Lulu probably not famous for her huge burst damage. So Senna and Graves will be the two champions that need to do this for the comp.
Senna and Graves will be the carries here. Of course, we're talking about Gragas top lane building a big ass tank, Fat Man, which is very likely, and then they have a great front line as well with Rel and with Gragas. On the other side, depending on how the lane goes, he could go for a bit more of an AP. We saw in LEC, in LCS, I think we saw 100 Thieves play Gragas top with Night Harvester. So that's the thing that happens. So that could definitely be a possibility if Gragas decides to go tank and maybe even put in his tank build at a Demonic Embrace, for example, will give him quite a lot of damage, giving him the percentage burn as well. So then there is some AP damage in that composition. Now that we see both comps, what are their general game plans? What is their general idea here? I'm assuming we're going to say that KVM has a in-your-face engage or maybe a 4-1 with the Shen. What is the idea behind the Ion Squads here?
Well, of course, Ion Squad playing this new meta Gragas on the top lane, because for the people that haven't seen this before, Gragas has been buffed. His passive got changed, which makes him heal so much more, so staying in the lane is crazy. I played him first time yesterday on the top lane, and definitely when he's low, he can just chug for 20-25% of his health back with a passive. So that is crazy that he can just spam the time and time again. And their plan is to go late game. I mean, they have a Senna, they have Lulu, they have Graves, who are such heavy scalers. I do not expect Tidus to go for early ganks and everything. I think he's gonna farm up till he's strong, and then pair up with this Lulu in the mid lane from Ryazaki. Because of course, Lulu support, not gonna have his items super fast. Lulu mid, yeah, he's gonna boost to those support items super fast. So once they have that combo from the Moonstone and the stuff flowing water, they're gonna go into tandem and just destroy the map, or at least that is their plan. And I expect Oli, of course, from his Hecarim we saw last time around, that he has so much impact in that early game. So that might be an opening for KV Mechelen to do something in this game, because we know that Iron Squad is not going for the early game, so it's theirs for the taking. And you see Ollie also running with that Smite Ignite again, so the aggression is there. The only question is, will they be able to do it? Will they be able to snowball off of it before Iron Squad gets to that scary point where Lulu Graves pair up and where Senna gets enough stacks so she becomes a threat? Because if they get to that point and it shifts in power, I think it's going to be really hard for KV Mechelen to get back.
Are going to have to definitely look out for that one, as we are going to jump into the first game. I have a little bit of a technical weirdness here, but we should be going into this game rather soon. 3, 2, 1. Giggity, there it is. We are on the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Turning off the music as well, because that's going to be annoying if that clip keeps going during the game. A lot of buttons needs to be clicked here. A lot of things needs to be paid attention to. Both teams on the Rift getting ready for this first game. Both of them putting on the Great Wall of China. Both of them not going for any crazy invades. Both of them don't really have any crazy invade potentials. Something I wanted to touch on before this game really gets going. You talked about Iron Squad wanting to go into the late game with the Senna, with the Graves. Of course, on the other side, we have Syndra, but we especially have Kai'Sa. If you go into the late game, Kai'Sa can do a lot of damage.
She can, but she is also basically the only one that Iron Squad really needs to pile on in these fights. Because okay, you have the Syndra as a threat, but that is basically countered out by Lulu, who can just shield ult the person that will receive the burst from Syndra, and then the main threat from the champion is gone. Of course, if she would be super fed at that point, that's a different story. But normally, she deletes a target, a key target, and then she has her job done. Lulu can prevent this. And then it's all on the Kai'Sa to do that damage over time. And if they can shut her down early, yeah, then this is a one fight in the late game for sure for Iron Squad. But we're not there yet. We're only 2 minutes in the game. We see some trading back and forth on the mid lane, of course. Kayasaki didn't pick this Lulu to counter the Syndra in the lane, or at least not to kill her. He picked it up to get those items fast and to get Tidus boosting, so see how it gets. However, that trade going in his favor and getting level 2 first as well. This oppressive Lulu pick doing the work already.
It's looking pretty good here between for the Lulu at this point. Going pretty aggressive. Also here in the bottom lane, are we? Because we do have the Rel and the Alistar, both supports can go in for pretty heavy engages. Is that something they're gonna want to do with the Senna and the Kai'Sa, or are they going to want to just farm it up, stay calm, and wait for the junglers to actually find that engage?
Well, you know that I sometimes like to compare Senna to a little bee who just buzz it and stings her opponent constantly. Just take those stacks. And that's what you will be wanting to do on the Alistar. They do not necessarily want to fight these 2v2s, but you just want to get his stacks as much as possible. And if they engage, yeah, then they have crowd control, they have everything to peel off. So if Senna gets stacks, if she gets farm, that's a win for her, because of course that's all she wants in lane. Senna isn't known for being this crazy early game AD carry in the lane. She's known for being able to farm up, have sustain with the heal, and becoming a monster late game. And that's what they want to do, but of course, if something happens, they can go another route. Meanwhile, mid some shenanigans from Ollie and from Tidus, going for those ganks, for those pressures on that lane. Meanwhile, Rel going in.
So going in for the engage in the bottom lane, as Kai'Sa is going to go low. They're going to find the engage, the ignite, sorry, on Infuneral. Also, you gonna have to watch out that he does not get stunned. Rel going really low here. Infuneral needs to be careful that he doesn't go down in the next engage. The jungler is also coming. Ollie on the Hecarim, looking for an engage, not gonna find him. Infuneral going really low there though, so they're gonna have to be careful that they don't lose the next trade.
Of course, Bisco going very early on that ignite on Rel, which means that healing from Senna not coming through anymore. they need to back. They also have the exhaust, but it wasn't used, so the flash was necessary. But they do still have the exhaust ignite on their side, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they will be down for the next few fights. You can see Goodbye what he does on the Greg is I believe even that he's going to max his E. Yes, that's what they do these days. They just max that body slam. And it reminds me a little bit of Alistar Top. If some people would remember this, that it was played with Sheen, where you just headbutt someone and you give them a little goodbye slap in the face. And because they fly away, they can't trade back. And that's a little bit what Gragas can do as well with that E, because you just belly smack him, you do an auto attack, and you go back, and the stun duration is just long enough so they can't trade back. So you basically, you prop your grasp and you run back, and they can trade. So that's what this Gragas does in the lane, and he's so much sustained from the passive that it's hella annoying. Meanwhile, Ollie going in, Rel, no flash, can they get something here? Answer is no.
The answer is definitely no. They were looking for an engage in the bottom lane once again. Rel, of course, not having her flash up anymore at this point. Exhaust still on Youp, however, so they can cancel out some of the damage, mitigate some of that, as Jerry and Ryazaki going toe-to-toe here in the mid lane, 35 to 35 CS. Bottom lane on the side of KVM, winning in farm. Top lane on the side of Iron Squad, winning in farm. So they are gonna lift each other up. They are gonna pull it equal on opposite sides of the map, as KVM is looking to go for this first dragon of the game. Is going to be a Mountain Drake. That will not be the soul for today. We're gonna have to see which soul is gonna come up this time, as we do see the overgrowth being used in the mid lane as well to cancel out the burst damage from Syndra.
It was definitely necessary to block that damage, and that is of course why you go for that Lulu pick in the first place, and you need to make sure that you do not feed this mid lane and that you can be able to support your jungler afterwards. And yeah, of course, the ult counters the ult, and that's basically what it is there. But Ryazaki very low. And as you said, bot lane for KVM, they've got a lead in CS, and top lane is losing out. But to be honest, I would say that it's pretty worth for KVM Mechler there. Shen is not expected to get some solo kills on this Gragas, but Mindrago will need to be the carry for KV Mechelen in these later fights. So if they can manage the lead for him at this stage of the game, that is very much worth for them.
Yeah. You're saying Mindrago is going to be, or Mindrago is going to have to be the carry for KV Mechelen. That is definitely the case. He's going to have to come in with the damage that we're going to stop that little analysis, as another engage is found here on Youp with a stand united first blood. It does go to Bisco, not the guy you wanted on, but first blood nonetheless for KVM here very early on.
And that's what we just said, Mortar, you do not need to kill this fat man in the top lane, but you need to play for the team and get this bot lane even further ahead. And that's exactly what they do. You see the 20 CS lead, the assist on Mindrago, of course. Kill would have been nicer, but still, first blood came in clutch. And even the exhaust on Mindrago, it didn't really matter. Youp disappeared so fast, and if they can keep this up, it's good. Meanwhile, Tidus waiting in the wings here. There's no ward. Can they catch this Syndra out?
Polymorph is going to be used. Syndra still has her flash. Might need to use that, as Oli is there as well. Maybe the re-engage. Oh, great flash there by Graveside. Coming, Overgrowth is used. So much damage onto Tidus Graves with the Ignite. He should be going down. Maybe he survives, finds the popcorn. But they're gonna, of course, look for the chase. Look at the heal from the Smite. The auto attacks, the red buff. He's gonna run into the turret. One more turret shot. He's not gonna get executed. It is eventually gonna be a kill and an assist. So the return damage, the return kill is gonna be there for KVM. Great flash by Tidus there.
And that was sick play by Tidus there. Juking that onslaught of shadows.
He had no vision, by the way.
Maybe it was just pure luck.
Possibly, yes.
In that case, but it still looked very good. And I loved how he dashed away with that last turret shot, just to extend the timer a little bit, hoping he would get the execute. Meanwhile, this mad cow trying to catch out Ryazaki doesn't have any mana. Tidus is there. They might get collapsed here.
KVM going really deep here. Mortar is there as well. Well, this is a 4v5 as Kaiser is not there. KVM has to be careful here that they don't lose too many members. Dragon is not up, so they don't have the objective afterwards. Good flashing, re-engage, sorry. By Godpie there. Good Pie. Godpie. Let's call him Godpie if he does plays like that. And they find two. Mechela going a bit too hard in the 4v5 situation, knowing that their bottom lane AD carry wasn't even there.
Yeah, the Bisco thought he had a pick on Ryazaki there, but of course everyone from Iron Scott was close by, were able to catch it out, and then a good explosive cask as well from Goodbye there. Pinning Jerry against the wall, of course. You often see this explosive cask just helping them escape, but not from these guys, of course. Most players on this Iron Squad Academy are master in solo queue, so they do know what they're doing mechanically. They're very strong players, and from what we see now, they also have that team play going on. Of course, they won last weekend, so would be surprised if it was otherwise. 2 and 3, a small lead for this Iron Squad Academy. Nothing is over, but of course, as we said, they just need to get through that early game to get to their spikes, to get their champ scaling. And Ollie is 1-1. We've seen him dominating this early game. And even though he had some impact, it isn't what we might have expected from him so far.
Ooh, Scatter the Weak gonna be missing their mid lane. Wouldn't really have done anything anyways, as both Senna and Rel moving towards mid lane as well. Gonna go away, however, as this second Drake is gonna be a Cloud Drake, be spawning in 5 seconds, meaning, Joe, we're gonna look to an Infernal or a Cloud Rift. Those, of course, are 2 big rifts on this game, however. Mountain Rift would have been crazy as well. Infernal and Ocean, always good.
Definitely wanna go for that objective. The first Drake, KVM picked it fairly easy because of course they had that bot lane prio this time around. Yeah, after that lost fight in the river before, not really in a position to regroup here and contest this Drake. They do not want to do it. So of course the first Drake doesn't really matter that much. It is an Infernal Soul, Walls will be gone. Cherry could Scatter the Weak, gets him out. Of course it's starting to get a little bit of an ARAM for him. There. Meanwhile they dive on the bot lane. Good flash from you.
A nice look for a flash engage there from Bisco, looking for the dive. Had his ultimate up, of course, on Alistar, which gives a lot of diving potential. However, as you said, great flash from you, getting out of that one, as the damage is already up there. Senna, of course, going for the Glacial Augment. It's still a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Glacial Augment Senna is not gone yet, sadly. Sadly.
Well, we have to be happy that they removed like the spooky ghost and everything. Meanwhile, Yoop in trouble.
Oh, Yoop in a lot of trouble. They know he doesn't have that flash anymore from the earlier try on the dive, as he does go down here with the Onslaught of Shadows. And this should be a couple of platings here in the bottom lane turret for KVM. As yeah, you said, Oli doesn't really have the impact, but he's there when he needs to.
Mandrago picking up his first kill of the game, 1-0-1. Almost 50 CS above his counterpart, so that is great for KVM Mechelen. Herald is being popped in the bot lane as well, gonna get one more charge off.
First turret for them.
And Goodbye, just slapping these plates, not much Mortar can do about this. However, he is taking aggro. This might be a little bit too deep from Goodbye. Or is it the master bait?
Oh, he casks Mortar on top of himself, as he maybe could have gotten out if he had done a better cask there. He probably would have gotten out if he had cast him away, but he says, you know what? Great taunt under the turret. I should not have been there. Kill is yours. Here you go. And just gives it to Shen, basically.
Yeah, he bait off a little bit more than he could chew. Of course, Twinkling Tidus was there to do the turnaround bait when he took a few third shots, but of course Shen doing
look at this movement.
More damage than you'd expect most of the time. Meanwhile, Mandrago going for this assassination kill.
Oh, great overgrowth there, but once again, Ollie is there. They're gonna go for Rel, who's ulting 3 people, and this is the thing we talked about earlier. Oh, Mondrago going really deep here in Funnel. Gonna survive with Moonstone Renewer heals from Lulu, with the shields. It is going to be enough. That build is broken, right? Please, as they find enough utility to keep their support alive. The damage, however, from KVM was insane.
Oh,
And
Jerry.
now collateral damage should be coming through. Flash body slam, collateral damage not even going to be used. Jerry going to be taken down. And they don't find the kill themselves, and they lose their member. 0-3 in 1 Syndra, not really the greatest game up till now.
It was a good try from Mondrago there to pick up that kill, but of course, Lulu turning into some sort of Soraka with that Moonstone in her pocket, just clutch heals all around. Disco going for this interrupt, but he is
be careful.
alone. Mortar on his way. Don't want to get caught again in this spot. Reminds me of 5 minutes ago. Can't really afford to make that mistake again. And if you want to fight as KVM at this point, you always want Mondrago there, because he is the one with the lead. He's the one that you need to get fed in the first place as well. He's good on his way, but as you can see, the gold lead almost neglectable. 300 gold there. So they don't want to throw anything right away. Next dragon will spawn in 1 minute. Or second dragon for both teams, but you want to work towards that Infernal Soul. So everything that you can pick up now will pay off later into this game.
Gragas, by the way, not going for the crazy tank build that we spoke about in Champion Select. Of course, we did speak about both options. We talked about Gragas going tank with a Sunfire or with a Chem tank, of course, giving him that extra movement speed. However, he does go for a rocket belt, which also gives him extra movement speed to find the engages for his team, to find the body slams and those explosive casts. So he is going to dish out quite a lot of AP damage here, but so does Jerry in the bottom lane meanwhile. As Drake, first Infernal Drake of this game will be spawning in 5 seconds. Both teams looking to fight for vision here, and both teams really wanting to go for this Drake. They're all here. Shen not, but he has his Stand United and teleport is up. They start the Drake.
This will be a hard fight to win. Jerry doesn't have his mythic yet, but Ole goes in.
That's the engage here on Son of Shadows. Ryazaki needs to use his ult on himself. He's gonna start healing with that Moonstone Renewer. Great ultimate by Infernal there as well. Looking to find no one goes down. Shen has joined the fight with his Stand United. KVM taking over this dragon. Bisco needs to be careful. Gonna flash in to find a double knock up here. And now in the backline, there's so much damage going down on Iron Squad. Teeth is fighting 3 members. He's staying alive for way too long. What is going on? But now here, Mondrago not finding damage. He gets out eventually with the popcorn. No, he doesn't. He gets taken down. Dragon is being done by KVM, but they're not going to be able to do it. It's a 2v3 situation. The top laner and the mid laner versus the top laner and the both bottom laners, as Infernal goes really low. Jerry doing quite a lot of damage. Is he going to find enough here for Infernal to be engaged? It's not going to be enough. The CC, now Mortar goes in with the Shen, goes really deep for 1 kill. Is that worth it? I don't know, as they do find the kills, they find the fight, and they find the Drake on the side of Iron Squad, as even the teleport from Lulu coming in. And Disco's still here. Maybe gonna look for something, not gonna do it with that Alistar. Can't really take that out. I mean, he could have gone for the steal. There was no spine, so I mean,
And
imagine.
this fight, it was so back and forth, you can see, because now still the gold lead is bang even. And everything would have been different if Jerry had his Ludens there. He didn't have his mythic yet. All the other players had it, of course, except for the Sports. He did so much in those fights, and it was so clutch. If he was able to get 2 or 3 procs there in that fight, could have gotten the extra kill, could have won the fight. But it wasn't there. They really focused Jerry in this early game. He was 0-3 before that fight started, and that really saved the Iron Squad there. That Jerry was behind, because of course Syndra spiking with the first item and the delay there. Really, really hurting him. Meanwhile, wow, that damage!
And dead.
We
Okay.
might want to mention that it is not Tank Gragas, it is AP Gragas with the rocket belt.
So
And he just one-shots Mind Drago there, so that is, yeah, that's a little bit disrespect, because the Gale Force is up still.
we did
Won't happen
mention
again, no?
we did mention the rocket belt, but clearly Drago not listening to us, not taking notes. 5-1 and 3 Gragas is looking for a Sonya's as well, has 10 stacks on his little ring there. So he's gonna be doing quite a lot of AP damage. So the tanks, sure, they can tank the AD, but the Gragas is gonna put out a lot of burst here with his AP damage. Of course, they're gonna have to build some MR at least, as they do look for a revenge kill here from Indrago. Gonna go in, knows Goodbye doesn't have his ultimate anymore, uses the body slam. The slow comes out, and that is a huge slow Senna ult coming through, giving Goodbye the shield and the distance he needs to get out of that kill. As Titus has the Immortal Shield Bow, has quite some damage. Didn't go for Gale Force this game, by the way, because most likely the burst from Syndra and Kaiser would have been too much, and then he needs the shield, as they do find Infernal here. Maybe the Void Seeker not gonna hit me, that I'm not gonna be able to join that fight, as Infernal gets away eventually.
Of course, Rel being super tanky when she dismounts, so it will be hard to burst her out at that point in time, when you do not have Mandrago there to help do that continuous DPS. And how tanky was Goodbye in the chase? He's going the AP route, okay, he had the Seeker's arm guard, but still, like, Mandrago was pretty solid in this game so far, but wasn't able to take him down. Didn't even need to use Flash. So, if that happens in a fight where there are other threats on Mandrago, he will not be able to do that much, I'm afraid. So, we'll have to see. Mortar will have to have his ult ready. Not sure if he had it in the solo kill before, because they probably didn't expect him to fall there solo. Right now, the Baron is up, and don't think that is an objective that they will be threatening at this point in time. Probably gonna wait for that next Drake before the next big fight breaks out, and they just keep on farming. And of course, this is what Iron Squad wants. Let's check how much stacks Senna has at this time. She has 38, so 2 more for the next range increase. And once she gets to that 60-80 point, yeah, then we're in the late game, and then Cube is gonna be someone that KVM really needs to watch out for.
Yeah, not only the stacks on Senna are getting there, also Lulu's Moonstone has healed her team for 1,674 HP already. We saw it in the engage in mid lane a couple minutes ago, where Infernal went really low, and then suddenly she got healed for like 100, 200 HP because Lulu was there. She hardly did anything, but she was there, and so she healed. As the next rig is going to be spawning 35 seconds from now. Syndra running into the top lane has TP, so can join the fight at any moment. They can go for a little bit of a 1-3-1 here. They should start looking to find the vision around Dragon. They only have vision in the river at this point, which is of course going to be spotted by Iron Squad, as both teams not really looking for this Drake at this point.
Vision is not being set up, however, KVM putting that Herald down. Probably gonna put some pressure on the top. They're gonna lose the turret, and if no one backs, the second turret is gonna take a lot of damage as well. So KVM already has that trade going for them. Are they gonna pull the trigger? Because it is a scary lineup from Iron Squad to engage on, but they will have to decide what they're gonna do.
And
Mortar in the back.
Goodbye is really tanky with the build he has right now, as the Drake is going to be started by Iron Squad. It's going to go really quick with that Graves, of course. Going to be doing quite a lot of damage. They find the engage on Mindrago. He's going to go really low. The re-engage here from Oli on his behalf in the backline from Iron Squad. And they're going to go low, but Ryazaki is going to survive with the overgrowth. It's going to get stunned up. Not going to be enough damage there. A double kill for Senna. Mindrago is alive. They only find Gragas and Lulu. It's a 2-for-2 at this point, but the Drake has gone to Iron Squad. The damage, the collateral damage. Mortar is going to be fighting Graves here. Has that Immortal Shield Bow, going to be healing way too much for Mortar to out damage that And they find Mindrago. Eventually, they find a double kill for Graves as well. And only Jerry is alive at this point for KVM as Ion Squad is taking this game into their hands, winning the fight. And also finding their third Drake. They're on Soul Point.
And that's what we said before, like, okay, the Drake, the first one, the second one, it's all nothing, but at this point, when you pick up the third one, you are starting to scratch your head, like, that's close to Soul, and with this one fight, they are turning to this Baron, which is very fast pace from Iron Squad here. I really like how they are capitalizing on everything that they get. KVM, however, not gonna give this up without a fight. They are here, they are ready to fight. Can they stop this?
Oh, great engage there by Bisco. They do find Lulu almost instantly, but now Alistair and Hecarim go down. The TP is gonna come through. It's too little, too late. Shen not gonna be able to do anything here. Needs to dash over the wall as Iron Squad still juggling the Baron HP. They're gonna keep it alive, they're gonna keep it low. Mindrago gonna go in on Yoop. The damage is gonna be enough. They find the shutdown. Can they find the steal? No, the smite, of course, versus the not smite. Look at Goodbye. Why is he so tanky? He has no tank items, but he's just a beast of a fat man with a barrel. And Mortar is doing a bit of the same, tanking quite a lot of damage here from Iron Squad, doing a lot of damage himself. Gonna try and 1v1 Graves. You're not gonna work out though, as the Immortal Shieldbow procs again. Once again, the life steal's gonna come through. Jerry trying to find a look at the auto. Wow! He's full HP into auto attack. Scatter the weak. He's gonna hit. There's no stun. There's the cow with the re-engage. Master 0 LP is down to Diamond 1 again because he gets taken down as Jerry finds the engage with his team. And now the cow gonna keep going. Gonna keep looking for them. Gonna stop the backs. Bit of a 50-50 fight, but Baron, once again, big objective for Iron Squad.
Yeah, so even though KVM is able to pick up some scrap kills left, right, and center, it is definitely not the position that they want to be in right now. The gold lead isn't really significant, but of course, Iron Squad being at Soul Point and getting this Baron is huge for them. And you can just see Jerry really doing his best in those fights, really doing work. But since he is that behind, he just isn't able to have the impact that he could have had if he was there as well. And it's not like he's super behind on Ryazaki, because he actually has more gold because of the farm. But yes, she needs her second item. She just doesn't have the burst to get through this Lulu shield to do any really significant damage to the team to hurt them. And that is of course because you have all that negation. You have the heals from the Lulu, you have the heals from the Senna, you have the shields, you have the heals from the Gragas. Who are you really going to burst there? You have the shield bow on the Graves. It is so hard for Jerry to really do anything here when they have so much sustain. And then I ask the question,
where's the anti-heal?
Where is all the grievous wounds? KVM.
They have.
Mindrago just picked it up, but yeah, Bramble Vest for Border. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do miss something there.
It's something I wanted to touch on earlier, but completely forgot, and there's quite a lot of fighting going on. And once again, they start fighting here. Senna gonna come through, finding the shields. Ryazaki shielding himself as well. Mindrago actually finding the 1v1 kill. Risco was there to help him out. Coming back to those grievous wounds, they have so much healing on the side of Iron Squad and only 2 grievous wounds items on the side of KVM. Gragas has his passive heals, Immortal Shieldbow and Bloodthirster, and the Ravenous Hydra on Graves. He's going to be healing like a madman. Lulu, of course, being Lulu with that Moonstone Renewer. Senna with her own heals. So there's a lot of sustain, a lot of healing there. And the anti-heal is coming in pretty late here, but it's coming in. So I'm expecting Oblivion Orb to come in from Syndra anytime soon. And look at KVM here, looking for a little Death Bush. Of course, Iron Squad, Spider Senses tingling. Not going to run into that one.
And this build that Tidus is going here on Graves is exactly what we spoke about in Champ Select, what the pain in the comp from KVM wasn't that they do not have that continuous damage, but Mindrago is the only one that can. Can they get him here? It doesn't look like it.
Well, they look for the Graves with the Immortal Shield pop-ups again. Is it going to be enough? He survives really long, but they eventually take him down. Mindrago goes down himself, however, as Oli gets burned down to the ground as well. It is now Mortar tanking as much as he can for his team. Last shield coming through. It's a double kill for Senna. The Infernal Drake has spawned It looks like Iron Squad is going to continue the chase even. Alistar, you're not going to survive this one. The engage from Rel is going to come through. A body slam from Gragas is going to be enough to keep him down, pinned to the floor. Gonna go for this Infernal Drake. Gonna find the Infernal Soul. 3.5k gold difference. Infernal Soul found the first Baron. Next Baron spawning in 150. Can KVM turn this around? Or is it more or less over? If they lose the fight at Baron, it's gonna be over.
It is so hard for KVM right now. You can see Mindrago playing a hell of a game here. He is getting binded. Could die here. No, they do not decide to go for it. Meanwhile, Goodbye, have mercy. I mean, why are you slapping these people? Yeah, that is just... It is so nasty. They even have the Infernal Soul now. The damage is insane, and they have so much threats on this Iron Squad Academy lineup. I mean, only trying to chase here, but probably won't be able to catch this fat man. And we really haven't touched much on Yup, Senna, because of course now on Senna you do build the Kraken Slayer.
And the
Because of that damage. Is it enough?
Oh, outplay!
Solo kill.
The great outplay from Mindrago, but once again an engage here in the bottom side of the map. They're gonna go for Rel, knocking her into the turret, but she's tanky of course, but so is Alistar with that ultimate. Gonna mitigate quite a lot of damage, but they're looking for him. The collateral damage finds Mindrago eventually with, I think it was like the final piece of damage on that collateral damage. And once again, Iron Squad coming out on top after, we must say, a pretty good game. Pretty good play, sorry, from Mindrago, but do get picked up. They start pushing into this enemy base. Iron Squad Academy looking really strong here. KVM gonna have some problems. Jerry not gonna find the damage he needs. Gets half HP by one explosive cask. Needs to use his Zonias. One more cask. He's gonna get CC'd and taken down. Death is the best CC, as also Mortar gonna go down. Ryazaki finding his second kill of the game there. And yeah, I don't think KVM is gonna be able to do anything about this Iron Squad looking to end. Mindrago, however, he is alive. Maybe he's gonna be able to dash in there with his ultimate. However, it doesn't look like he wants to. Of course, possibility is there that his ultimate is on cooldown, which it is, and thus he doesn't not only want to, but he's just not able to, as Goodbye goes in to the enemy fountain. Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Nexus turret number 2 is going down any moment now. Every moment. Well, basically every moment as well. As they do find the second Nexus turret. Mindrago going in from behind. KDA goes a bit lower than it used to be. Look at that explosive cast. They knock him out of the fountain. This is BM. Ion Squad finding the kills, finding the Nexus, and finding the first win of this weekend's group phase game 1 versus KVM Academy. They find the win, and it is a well-deserved win for Iron Squad.
We can safely say that Goodbye and Tidus were smurfing a little bit that game. I mean, yeah, they're already dead. Leave them at some point, you know? Tidus really exploiting the weakness of KV comp there with the full healing build, because yeah, they know Mindrago is the only one that does any significant continuous damage. And if we can focus him down early in a fight, yeah, then it's over, because who is gonna kill this Grace when you have a Lulu, when you have a Senna who can heal him as well besides his own heals? It was pretty much impossible. I do not want to say that this was a stomp, because KV definitely showed that they were playing proactive in several parts of this game. And if they would meet each other in the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, whatever, I think we can have a banger of a best of 3 between these two teams. So I'm hoping we can see that later in this Open Tour.
Yes, so Ion Squad Academy winning their first game against KVM Esports Academy, losing theirs, of course. That's how logic works. And then Gaming Alliance Red and DSEA Red played their first game as well. DSEA picking up their first win there. Gaming Alliance Red still not on a win here in the Open Tour. I think they lost everything last weekend as well, or was that DSEA? One of two red teams lost everything. Next game for KVM Esports is going to be against Gaming Alliance Red. They're both on 0 wins. They both should win this one to be able to get through to the round of 16. On paper, should be KVM winning this one. We're gonna have to see what happens between these two teams as the lobby is being created. We're gonna be taking a little bit of a break, and we'll be seeing each other in 7 minutes. Should be 7 minutes, at least at 1 p.m. The next game should be
very
starting.
specific.
It's a very specific time slot, yes.
Put your timer, 7
the-
minutes.
The next
Get a
game,
drink.
get a drink, get some food, get a little snacky. And we'll be seeing each other in a couple of minutes as we take a little break here, waiting for the next lobby to be formed. Don't go anywhere, and see you in a couple of minutes.